are live. Couch Commanders podcast, episode 5. We are here.
5 subscribers.
5 episodes,
Yeah,
baby.
now we're talking.
Let's go. Let's go. But you know what? Unlimited fun. Unlimited fun.
Yeah, I love it.
Unlimited fun. We've got a lot planned today. We have a lot of things. We're going to be playing some more games. We have some new segments. Some new games to be played. Matt's got apparently he's got some tricks up his sleeve. He's got some Twix up his sleeve.
Yesterday was Halloween, so
Halloween edition.
Got to bring the treats and the tricks. We were passing out candy.
We were saying Merry Christmas to the little kids.
Yeah. I think there was only 20 kids?
Yeah, there was a decent amount. I feel like there was that one girl that yelled at us. Remember her? Happy Halloween. It's not Christmas, it's Halloween. And then your go-to joke.
Yeah, so, for everybody that loves Halloween jokes.
Yeah.
What's a ghost's favorite fruit?
What?
Blueberries.
Wow.
Pretty cool, guys.
That one's pretty good.
You don't know how many of the kids I would say the joke and they would just take the candy and walk away.
They wouldn't know. They wouldn't know or care.
They don't even want the answer. They're just see you later.
They don't care. I don't blame them though. They don't care about words. They just care about sugar. That's all they care about.
I will say though, we felt cool for a second. He was an older kid, so I was questioning should you really be trick or treating?
Yeah.
But he
He had to be at least 13 or 14. This kid.
Yeah. I think he had a mustache.
Yeah. He was definitely. It was early.
He looked at the candy. It's like, oh, his eyes got real big. They got full size candy bars.
Yes.
It's like, hell yeah, we do.
Dang straight we do. Wow.
We don't got a lot of trick or treaters around here, but we're gonna make it count.
Amen.
Amen to that, brother.
Amen to that. Shall we get started?
Let's get into it.
Okay. We're always going to start with what we always start with. Let's start with the games. We're going to start with the events. Got games to start. First thing we're going to do, we do this a lot, but I think it's always good every single time we do it. We're going to do, instead of doing 3 games, we're only going to do 2 games, but they're going to be longer amounts of games. Okay. So we're going to start with our patented Would You Rather.
Let's do it.
Would you rather is always good. Now, this is 100 thought-provoking would you rather questions.
Wow.
So these ones are...
Yeah, we might go off in tangents,
Yes, but there's a lot of good ones. Okay. First question. Would you rather walk the Great Wall of China or boat down the Amazon River?
Wow. Man, those are actually tough. I think the easier answer is Great Wall of China. You can just walk. It's a nice view.
It's very touristy. I feel like it's already kind of set up for you to walk down. You know what I mean?
Because the first thing that comes to mind is the Amazon jungle is mosquitoes. There's going to be bugs, snakes, potentially dangerous. I mean,
Malaria.
What's the stats? How many people die on the Great Wall of China versus the Amazon River? It's got to be staggering.
Yeah, it's definitely got to be very, very high for sure. But I mean, I don't know. I'd probably go Great Wall of China.
Yeah. So clearly, we're not risk takers. We value our life over everything.
Yeah, totally. Okay, cool. That's a good one. All right, ready? I have so many. Okay, next one. Would you rather spend a day exploring space on a rocket ship or diving deep in a submarine?
Well, we know what happened to that Titanic exploration.
Yeah. That's fair.
He kind of ruined it for everybody if you really think about it.
But you know what though? I think that that's tough. Because the thing is, exploring space on a rocket ship would probably be pretty cool, but I feel like, obviously a plane is different from space for sure, but it's I don't know, something about diving deep in a submarine, I think is kind of cool.
I guess when I think rocket ship, I'm thinking they're going to take me to the space station. I'm going to get a nice view. I know people have done it in the past.
Right.
So there's a good possibility I'm going to be okay. And then when you just think of, would I rather die in a glorious explosion of a rocket ship or drowning at the bottom of the ocean?
I mean, yeah, it's true. I think
that's where my mind goes. I don't know if I'm dark with it or what.
I think I'm going submarine.
Wow, you're adventurous.
I think I'm going submarine, and because I think that there's a lot of the what else is up there? It's just like clouds and like, I guess just like, what's up there? There's not much to see.
You're trying to explore the last frontier when, they say we haven't explored the ocean.
Yeah, I'm trying to go there. I'm trying to go where nobody else has gone. I want to see some like, oh shit, that thing looks freaking crazy. Like, what the is that? You know what I mean? Like,
there might be a higher percentage chance you find aliens in the ocean than in space, if you think about it.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, aliens are essentially just weird creatures and beings, right? So,
but I'm saying all the sightings of the UFOs coming out of the water, being submerged back in the water, maybe there's a whole base down there.
Maybe there's like a whole town and they're just like harvesting and they're building like a whole family down there.
It's like some Atlantis, Wakanda type thing, goes under the water. A rock opens up and there's just a whole city.
You could be right. Wow, that's interesting. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go submarine. I feel like it's more adventurous, but I think that could.
You
be
know
cool.
what? Good on you. Good on you for taking the risk for all of us, for mankind.
Man. Somebody's got to do it. I'll do it.
I like a good aerial view. I like the penthouse and the hotel.
But that's like, pun intended, the low hanging fruit.
Exactly. I'm that kind of guy. Give me the low hanging fruit.
All right, fine. All right, here we go. Next one. This one's really good. Would you rather start a colony on Mars or lead a country?
Wow. Lead a country. Come on. I love the power.
But it's like, if you're, okay, think about this. You're leading a country or you could lead a freaking planet.
It's going to take so many generations for it to even be worth it on Mars.
I feel like it's less stress. Like, leading a country sounds like so much stress, but leading a colony on Mars, like, it's going to be like you and like 10 people.
I mean, you've seen Total Recall. It doesn't look that fun.
I haven't seen Total Recall.
Total Recall, that's like best case scenario. They have little cities. They got Martians. They got girls with 3 boobs.
Whoa.
Arnold Schwarzenegger's up there. And then
if Arnold's up there, let's go.
And then he doesn't have oxygen and his eyes are popping out of his head because he doesn't have the right spacesuit. Just sounds not worth it, man.
Maybe.
Like, how many generations until Mars gets a shopping mall?
I mean, yeah, we're like 300-400 years away from that, but I mean,
see, if you're running a country, you go shopping every weekend. Let's go. Dave and Buster's as the president? Come on.
That's probably a completely different experience. You're definitely getting unlimited tokens. Wow. That's a good one. Okay, ready? Here's another one. This one is super thought-provoking. Would you rather experience a wonderful life to the age of 100 or spend 100 years at any age you choose?
Well, first thing that came to mind is the second option. If I could do 100 years and you're just in your peak health,
Yeah.
I guess if I have to choose, maybe like 25, I don't know.
But then at 25, you still don't have your life figured out. Sometimes.
You have 100 years at the biological age of 25.
Yes. I think honestly, I would want to experience the full life of 100 years because I feel like there's beauty to every phase of your life.
So you're saying if you're 25, you can't do anything that old people do? I'm confused by the question.
No, I mean, you can. It's just a matter of if you would want to like go through like all the seasons of being like a child and then becoming a young adult, then an adult, then a middle-aged adult, and then elderly. Like, do you want to go through all those phases or do you just want to be 25 your whole life? Because I feel like there's some perks to being like a 5-year-old kid, and there's some perks to being like a 75-year-old grandpa.
Got it. So you're saying I'm just born 25. I didn't have my childhood.
You're born 25, and it's like you're learning life as you go as 25. You'd probably do some crazy. Imagine you're like you're biologically 25, but in the actual like years, you're like 1. You'd probably make some crazy.
Yeah, I'll take biologically 25. I'm getting varsity, high school basketball team. You're not cutting me this time, okay?
Oh my God. That is actually really funny. It's like, yeah, you'd be like literally dunking on like 3-year-olds.
Yeah, if you're 6'2" in high school or middle school, let's go to middle school. I'm dominating middle school.
That's fair.
There might be more competition in high school,
but in middle school, you're going all American, everything. Yeah.
With the knowledge I know now.
Wow.
I remember being so scared being in middle school of my shot getting blocked. No fear anymore.
Wow.
25-year-old me against middle schoolers? Come on.
Rap. Give us the state title.
It's a rap.
Wow. Okay. I love this question. Me personally, I love this question. I think you know how I would answer this question, but I'm curious to see how you would answer this question. Would you rather live in a castle with secret passages or a modern mansion with all of the latest technologies?
Yeah, I'm more of an old soul, so I'm going to go castle.
I'm going castle too. I feel like that would be so sick.
Yeah, I really, even if I don't live in a castle, I just want a bookcase that opens up to another room. Like, can we get that?
Yeah, like, can I just pull open the book and then literally it's just like a secret lair emerges?
Yeah, maybe a
man cave.
A suit of armor.
Yeah.
Maybe a guillotine just for display, not for use, but just to show people like,
wow.
If things go way downhill, we're just farmers. There's the apocalypse. We have to enforce some rules. I got a guillotine.
Just in case. In the event that something went down.
You gotta take some real bad guys out to the public square and make an example out of them. We're ready to go.
Right. Exactly. Wow.
What kind of mazes and tunnels? Like what are we talking? Like dragons? House of dragons?
We're talking like I think we're talking like full on lair. You know what I mean? Like it's like you got like barracks, and it's like you go down and it's like a secret thing, but it's like there's no technology there. It's all made out of like stone. It's like the catacombs.
You do love the dark.
I love the dark.
You would just be working on your laptop in the catacombs.
Yeah, I would just sit there in the corner of one of the catacombs. Me like beep boop beep boop beep boop beep. Yeah, I'm going castle all day. It's also like, hey, pull up, come here, come to my castle.
Can I get a moat?
Hell yeah, of course. You can have whatever you want. It's your castle.
I love a good drawbridge.
Everyone needs a good drawbridge.
Maybe we get a party of wenches coming through.
Wenches. Shawty, you a fine ass wench.
See, maybe Diddy got in trouble because he had too much technology. If he went more old school, if he just had scrolls.
Try to be cutting edge.
Yeah.
Very different.
That was his downfall.
Too much tech.
If he just had pens with quills on them, no issue.
0. Would you rather have amazing dreams each night that you can't remember or very occasional dreams that you can remember forever?
I like remembering my dreams.
But what if they're like bad dreams?
I don't have bad dreams.
Really? You don't have nightmares?
I had like one in my whole life.
Wow, you're lucky. Some people get really, really bad nightmares.
I had a dream I was writing a song with Sabrina Carpenter. It was kind of cool.
Was it a banger?
It was actually just the Bruno Mars song. We were
writing Die With a Smile.
It wasn't even original. I'm pretty sure Sabrina was pissed too. I think she was like,
who is this guy? He's not coming up with original ideas. What's his problem?
He stole this song. Like, get out of here.
Yeah. She's like calling you out like in the dream session.
Yeah.
Wow. So I guess Sabrina Carpenter's your dream session.
Not like my ideal session, but I was writing with her in a dream.
Wow. There you go. Okay, ready? Here's a good one. Would you rather know when people lie or not know when they lie to you?
I don't understand the question.
Would you rather know when people lie or not know when they lie to you? So it's like, would you rather know or would you rather be like ignorance is bliss?
Oh, I'd rather know.
You want
knowledge is power, especially negotiating business deals, things like that. How much due diligence do you have to do just to be able to trust somebody?
It's fair.
Save you so much time. And in relationships too.
It's fair.
You're like, oh, I got this girl. I like her. Now I got to vet her for a year just to make sure she's the person that she says she is. Like every relationship's like that.
Yeah, I mean, relationships is all about truth.
Like,
really.
When are they going to show who they really are?
Communication.
That like honeymoon period. You don't have to deal with that anymore.
Yeah. Now you just know. It's like, gotcha.
Gotcha, wench.
Gotcha, wench. Oh my God. Okay, here we go. Would you rather be on a reality TV show showing your life 24/7 or live alone in isolation?
I don't mind a reality TV show.
You'd be on a reality TV show?
I don't know.
I could kind of see you on a reality TV show. A certain one.
I say that now, but I think it would be fun for like a year, and then you would go crazy.
I mean, 24/7, like your whole life. I think I'd live alone.
When you say alone, you mean alone, or like your family?
Alone.
Yeah, see, that's where you got me.
Solo dolo.
If I was with my family, then I'm choosing that all day. It just sounds like peace.
No, live alone. just completely alone. You're like, you die alone, everything.
You have internet. You can use FaceTime.
Isolation. So yeah.
You want to die alone?
No, not die alone, but I mean 24/7 your whole life. I don't know. I mean, like I think you could still have contact with the outside world. It's not like you can't have contact with the outside world, but like you have to live alone.
Sounds sad.
It kind of does sound kind of sad.
You're like, I'm rethinking it now.
Damn, I was kind of confident in that, but I think now I'm like, oh no. I'm like worried now. Yeah, just turn it off, you know? Turn off the air. It's whistling. Okay. One more would you rather question, and then we'll move on to the next game, which is a new game. But last question. Would you rather spend a week camping in the wilderness or relaxing on a luxurious cruise ship?
I've done a lot of cruises in my life. They're not that bad.
They're probably pretty incredible, I would assume. I've never actually done a cruise ship, but I've always wanted to do a cruise. It's a very affordable vacation option, actually.
Something nice about being on a boat.
Yeah. There's like something that brings you back to like your aquatic roots.
I don't know if it's because I tour a lot or if my parents used to drive me around to make me fall asleep as a baby or what, but there's something.
Is that a true story?
I don't know. Maybe it happened a couple times.
Yeah.
But I sleep really well in motion.
You do?
Yes. It's like calming. Like if I feel like you're going somewhere, like a tour bus, a cruise, a car, a plane, I sleep great.
Really? That's actually really interesting.
Yeah.
Because especially if you're a touring artist, I mean, that's like essentially a superpower.
And if you're camping and you're there, you know, we've both been to Zion.
Of course.
It's like you have to make something happen.
Yeah.
There's more effort. A cruise is like the laziest way to vacation, which is why everyone who's retired, like shout out my parents, they go on cruises all the time. Someone's just pulling you up. Here's a new spot. Here's a new spot.
Yeah,
we have everything planned for you. Here's a buffet.
Yeah, it's all there. It's just all so easily accessible. Oh man, this is actually, but the question is not would you rather go on vacation? Would you rather spend a week?
Oh, I've spent 10 days on a boat before. No problem.
What if it was a month?
A month would be tough, but they have the ports.
Yes, you get off.
So I don't know
every
if
time.
that counts. Do I have to stay on the boat the whole time?
Yeah, it says relaxing. But I feel like relaxation gets boring sometimes. Me personally, I'm like, okay, I've relaxed for like, normally when I hit like 2 days, I'm like, oh no, I can't.
Yeah,
do
like
anymore.
4. Once it's 4, I get a little stir crazy. But I will say, pro or con, however you want to look at it, a lot of times being on a boat has horrible service. So you're just disconnected
from the whole world.
From the world.
Yeah.
You can't help it. Like it puts you in this weird bubble, and then the people on the boat become your family, which is kind of sick. It's like going to summer camp where you're like, I don't know any of these people, but they're my homies now.
I feel like you can build some beautiful relationships on a cruise.
Yeah. I remember just going on a cruise, being in like middle school, high school, and I'm just playing cards with some random family.
This sounds sick.
You're not going to do that like just going camping necessarily or just going on a normal vacation, because you're going to be like, who's this weirdo like coming up to me at the beach?
Yeah, you're also like a little more secluded when you're doing camping, right? You kind of have like your own. Well, I mean, there's campgrounds, I guess, but. Well, that brings us to the end of our first segment of Would You Rather. Good job. You did great. There was very thought-provoking questions. I feel like it wasn't misleading. I feel like the headline was pretty.
Yeah, it's like we're getting to know each other.
Yeah, it's like fifth date. Next part of the games series is a brand new series. We're calling it Bracket Challenge. Okay? In Bracket Challenge, it's very simple. You have matchups, and every single matchup, it's a bracket. And it goes all the way down to the champion. But we're picking one topic. So the topic is fast food restaurants.
We're going to kill this one. I already know.
We're going to crush this one.
We have a lot of experience.
Yes, we've done this. We've done something similar before. Okay.
But being on the road, I've sampled a lot.
Okay, yeah, fair. Okay, ready. Here we go. First matchup, Arby's versus Jack in the Box. Who you got?
Arby's versus Jack in the Box. Ooh, that's actually a tough one, but I'm going to go Arby's. I love the roast beef.
Yeah, Arby's is a big win there.
I used to have good deals back in the day. It doesn't feel as greasy.
Wow. Arby's is nice. I'd probably go Jack in the Box, though.
And not only that, Arby's has curly fries.
Fair. Their curly fries are unbelievable. Okay. Now, this is just next. We're going to fire them off. Have you ever had A&W?
Oh, yeah.
A&W versus Auntie Anne's.
The pretzel place?
Yep.
I'm going A&W.
Really?
The root beer. Come on.
Yeah, but the bites, those little pretzel bites with
You know
the
what it is?
sugar.
I'm not a huge pretzel guy.
See, you lost me there. Okay, here we go. Next one. Boston Market versus Burger King.
I'm gonna go Boston Market.
Boston Market is incredible.
Mac
Shout
and
out
cheese,
Boston.
mashed potatoes.
Shout out Boston.
I do love
Home-cooked
Burger
food.
King, but it's a different level. Is Boston Market even fast food?
No, it's technically, it means it's a fast food chain. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Checkers and Chick-fil-A.
Oh, come on. The Lord's Chicken. Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, of course. I feel like that one's pretty easy. Okay. This one should be pretty easy as well. Chipotle and Cinnabon.
Chipotle.
Yeah.
Sorry, Cinnabon.
If Chipotle doesn't go the distance, I'm going to be really upset.
You want them to go all the way?
Yeah, I mean, obviously this is your bracket, not my bracket, but I'm just playing the game. Okay. Jimmy John's and DQ.
Jimmy John's. I love the taste of
I
Jimmy
could fight
John's.
you on that pick. I could fight you on that pick.
I will say Jimmy John's makes me tired. I don't know what it is about their bread.
It's high in carb content for sure.
Something about it.
Okay. Five Guys and Hardee's.
I'm gonna go Hardee's. I grew up.
Whoa.
I grew up on the thick burgers.
That
They were like the OG thick burgers. Do you remember that?
I'm gonna really disagree with that one. Five Guys. I mean, obviously I don't eat meat anymore, but they do actually have an amazing vegetarian option. Five Guys does. But Five Guys for me is a no-brainer. You get the peanuts. You get when you say, "Oh, hey, I'll have a small fry," they stuff the bag with the fries.
The OG marketing for Hardee's thick burgers. Come on.
Yeah, no.
As a middle schooler,
We're gonna disagree there. This is actually a good one. Here we go. Or maybe not. In-N-Out versus White Castle.
White Castle. Yeah, I can see your face right now. Look at that. You're shocked. I think it's a Midwest thing. I grew up more on White Castle. There was
wow, bro.
There was an excitement. I would go to my friend's house and the dad brings home a Crave case, maybe two Crave cases. Seeing 60 burgers just plopped on the table right there. This is dinner. There's something about it. It's a different level of excitement.
I don't know about that one, bro. All right, here we go. Now we're in the next stop. Arby's and A&W.
I'm going Arby's.
I like that.
A&W's good, but it's like greasier. I don't know. There's nothing like super special about it.
I'm not mad at it. Boston Market and Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, Chick-fil-A's might go the distance here. All right, Chipotle and Jimmy John's.
Chipotle. Let's go.
Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Hardee's and White Castle.
White Castle. Let's
Yeah,
go.
Yeah, no, I like that. It's good pick. Good pick. Good pick. Arby's, Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A. Sorry, Arby's.
It's a good choice. Chipotle and White Castle. Ooh, the two titans.
I'm going Chipotle.
Yeah, I feel like that's a no-brainer in my opinion. Chick-fil-A and Chipotle.
Is this the finals right here?
There's a whole other side of the bracket.
Oh, okay.
So this is just one side of the
conference.
bracket.
This is conference finals.
This is the conference final. Yep. Chick-fil-A and Chipotle.
This one's really tough, but I'm gonna go Chipotle.
Yep.
I just think for me personally, I've eaten Chipotle way more in my life than Chick-fil-A.
Yeah. In my opinion, that's the right call.
If I'm going strictly chicken sandwiches, I'm going Chick-fil-A. But like it's still kind of greasy fast food to me. Chipotle, whether it's healthy or not, it feels healthy.
And I feel like out of all, it's the best value. You've got great value. You get a lot for your money.
Throw me a double chicken on there.
Yeah, just if there's a lot of options, I feel like Chipotle is a no-brainer. All right, here we go. Other side of the bracket: El Pollo Loco and Taco Bell.
Ooh, people are gonna hate me for this. I'm gonna go El Pollo.
We can't be friends anymore, bro.
You know what? It doesn't even make sense because I've eaten Taco Bell way more than El Pollo Loco.
Yeah,
But
Taco Bell is a staple.
when I've had El Pollo Loco, it feels like higher quality. I know the culture doesn't agree.
Yeah,
But quality-wise, something
I
about
can understand that. I can understand that. Okay, Sonic and Subway.
Subway. I used to work there.
Oh, Subway is such a. Oh, I love Subway.
Comes in the clutch.
It actually has the most franchises in the whole world. I don't know.
And when you're in the middle of nowhere and you just want something consistent that's not crazy greasy, it always hits the spot.
Subway is the king of. Oh my God, there's a Subway here. You know what I mean? Like it's like, oh wow.
Yeah, you could be in
Makes you feel at home.
Manila, Philippines, and you're like, I don't know what any of these food spots are gonna taste like. Subway.
You know what you're gonna get. Okay, this is a tough one. Wendy's and KFC.
Yeah, that is a tough one.
First round matchup too.
I'm gonna go Wendy's.
In my meat eating days, I would have done KFC all day. All right.
You know what it is? I'm not a big like KFC. What is it called? Like the buckets.
Yeah.
I wasn't big on that. I like their biscuits, but just like eating fried chicken with your hands, I don't know. It just wasn't.
It's Americana, bro.
I know it's Americana, but I don't know.
McDonald's and Long John Silver's.
It's a really tough one, but I have to go McDonald's.
I mean,
I grew up on Long John Silver's and it was good, but it's, I don't know.
Just based off of respect, you can't go anything else.
Yeah, you can't.
You can't.
I mean, it's a brand thing at this point.
Yeah, if you went Long John Silver's over McDonald's, I think that would be one of the hottest takes of the entire
I couldn't
year.
call myself a serious fast food analyst.
No, of course, absolutely not. Okay,
it's career suicide.
This is a good first round mashup. I'm going to say Quiznos and Steak and Shake.
Oh wow!
See what I'm saying? Neither are good enough to win, but both are solid places.
I'm gonna go Steak and Shake.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that.
That was a gut check. I have a lot of fond memories of Quiznos. They fell off hard, but Quiznos time.
Yeah, great times. they did have a crazy. Yeah, well. Okay, the inner Massachusetts Boston person in me said, if you say anything different, we're gonna fight. Jersey Mike's and Dunkin' Donuts.
Jersey Mike's. You want Dunkin' Donuts? That's not even fast food. That's like coffee and donuts.
Bro. I can't. Our friendship is
How are we gonna put donuts next to sandwiches? And good sandwiches. Jersey Mike's is good.
Yeah, but they have great sandwiches. Have you had their
Dunkin' Donuts?
Yeah. Have you had their like egg and cheese? Like
yeah, I've had their egg stuff's okay.
Yeah. Have you had their wraps? Have you had their hash browns?
You're trying to convince me that Dunkin' Donuts is known as a sandwich place. It's not going to work.
It's not. No. Well, it is known as a breakfast sandwich place.
I've had
all sandwiches are created equal.
Okay. I'm just saying I've had their breakfast a lot. I used to live above a Dunkin' Donuts. It's fine. There's nothing crazy. I'm not going to choose Dunkin' Donuts breakfast over McDonald's breakfast, over Chick-fil-A breakfast, I'm just not. I'm sorry.
Well,
it's good for black coffee. Cheap black coffee. If you really want some donuts, they have great donuts, I'm sure.
I don't even care how the rest of this plays out now. We're fighting now.
I didn't realize you felt so strongly about donuts.
I mean, I'm from Massachusetts. I have no choice. I have to defend my people.
And to be clear, I had no idea they're Boston based.
That's like Massachusetts culture. Dunkin' Donuts is like Massachusetts.
That's why they're Ben Affleck's their guy.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you ever seen the commercials? Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, Tom Brady.
It's all making sense.
There you go.
I think they do great coffee. I think Starbucks is overpriced. I think if I see a Dunkin' and a Starbucks, I'll go get Dunkin' black coffee. I don't need like a frappuccino with a bunch of sugar.
But the best thing is you get the iced coffee, the caramel swirl, whatever, and then they put the donut on top. So it's like you have the big coffee and then you have the donut on top.
None of that. None of that interests me. That sounds a horrible way to start my day.
Yeah, I mean, America, baby. All right, this next one. This one is. I like both of these. Both of these could have probably made it to the divisional round, but Panda Express and Panera Bread.
I'm going Panera Bread. I have respect for Panda Express. It's just not.
Panda Express is really strong. I mean, they actually just brought back their Beyond Chicken now, which is very, very exciting for me.
I feel like they have good broccoli.
Great broccoli. The lo mein and the rice are hit or miss. If you get a fresh batch, great. If you don't, it's definitely on the cheaper side, but very affordable price and great value and good food, good taste, great sauces. Next one, Popeyes and Whataburger.
I'm going Popeyes.
Yeah, it's a good choice.
They've had some really good chicken sandwiches.
Whataburger is also really good, but Popeyes is definitely, I feel like a staple.
Whataburger is good. It's hard. It's not memorable for me.
Yeah, that's fair.
I've eaten there and I can't remember what it's like.
Yeah,
There's not like a flavor profile that's like this is Whataburger.
Yeah, true. I agree. And after all of the massive upsets that you did, El Pollo Loco over Taco Bell, we are now in the second round. I cannot believe that you did that.
I feel a little bad about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't really make sense.
Now this is a.
Like
can they continue the Cinderella story now?
Does El Pollo Loco even have like late night? Do they close at 10? I have no idea.
There's no way they can go the distance. They don't have the depth. But El Pollo Loco versus Subway.
Oh, it's tough. That's Subway.
Yeah, I feel like that's a no-brainer. I mean, but Taco Bell and Subway would have been a matchup for the ages. But whatever. It's okay. Move on. This is a good one. Wendy's and McDonald's.
Wendy's and McDonald's. McDonald's.
Yeah. You just got to go off of history there.
You know what? McDonald's has a couple items that are second to none, whether it's good for you or not, and they're iconic. The hash browns, what's the breakfast sandwich with like the McGriddles?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The Egg McMuffin, the McGriddle, and then
Big Macs.
Yeah, and then you got the McFlurries.
The fries are good.
The fries are great.
It's hard to beat. Like a lot of the other ones, they have good individual items, but it's hard to beat as a whole, you know?
And like you said, a very unique flavor profile as well, McDonald's.
Yeah, salt.
Lots of that.
Lots of salt.
Lots of salt. Next matchup, Steak and Shake and Jersey Mike's.
Jersey Mike's, baby. I want the giant sub. Why cap it at 12?
Yeah.
Okay, give me 15.
Is that what they give there?
Yeah.
Wow.
I did the math the other day. You know, sometimes you eat the foot long and you're a little hungry afterwards after that.
Oh,
Subway.
no. I mean, if you're doing a foot long, you need at least a side chip.
Oh, yeah, always.
But if you're going an extra 3 inches on the sub,
I'm going giant sub and side chip at Jersey Mike's, baby.
You are crazy. Panera Bread or Popeyes?
Going Panera Bread.
Yeah, I like that choice. Panera Bread, great Wi-Fi. I've worked out of Panera Bread a lot.
Great coffee.
Yep.
They have bakery items.
Yep.
Sandwiches.
You pick too.
I'm not a big soup guy, but they have soup options ready to
Broccoli
go.
cheddar soup to die for. All right. Now we're going to get into some hard choices. Subway and McDonald's.
I'm going to go McDonald's.
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at it. Panera Bread and Jersey Mike's.
I'm going to go Panera.
Yep. I like both of those choices. I would have gone that way. Okay. To advance to the final now. McDonald's and Panera Bread.
McDonald's is going to the finals, baby.
Wow. And now, the biggest part of the entire bracket challenge, we have the final. Let's set up the stage.
Okay.
We have McDonald's, the patented French fries, Big Mac, all of the breakfast sandwiches, Egg McMuffins, McGriddles, and the history of being one of the first, if not the first, fast food chain in the world. McDonald's, their history, and their beautiful menu.
You seen that Founder movie? Great. Michael Keaton.
No, I haven't seen it. I should watch it, though.
Yeah,
I'm actually
amazing.
really interested.
It makes you like McDonald's more.
Against the Goliath Chipotle Mexican Grill, a staple of American culture, I would say. You have a plethora of options for vegetarians, meat eaters, carnivores, filled with flavor.
They're kind of like the new hot boy on the block.
But that was what I'm saying. They haven't had the test of time. They haven't been proven by the test of time. They have a bright future ahead of them, but they are definitely on the newer side of things. So, can the young gun Chipotle take down McDonald's? Chipotle, McDonald's, best fast food restaurant in the world. Who you got?
And the winner is Chipotle.
Yo, wow, incredible.
Is that what you called?
Chipotle takes the dub. I mean, dude, I am very, very pro Chipotle.
Did you say earlier that Chipotle was going to go all the way?
I did say Chipotle was going to go earlier all the way. I swear to God, Chipotle is the greatest. I mean, I think that I would be a very different person in my life if it was not for Chipotle. Very different.
I think that if I was buying stocks, which, you can buy stocks.
Oh my God, no way. You can do that? That's crazy.
I mean, you can buy stock of Chipotle and McDonald's. I would probably guess that Chipotle is on the way up and McDonald's is on the way down.
Wow. I mean, that's a bold call.
It doesn't mean McDonald's going to disappear. It just means growth-wise, I think Chipotle has more growth, and McDonald's is less people are going to choose McDonald's. They know it's horrible for you, and
I mean, I think maybe you'll see McDonald's come out with some healthier options, but I mean, Chipotle in this next generation, like the generational cycles of Gen Zs and millennials, and as these generations start to get older, we are becoming more health conscious, I think, for sure. So something like Chipotle that's more centered around health and healthier ingredients, it could definitely stand the test of time. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out. But I do think Chipotle is hands down my favorite. So there it is. That concludes the bracket challenge. Now I feel like that was exhilarating. You had a few
Yeah.
you had a few upsets in there though. El Pollo Loco over Taco Bell is crazy, and then
I feel bad about that one. I think my journalistic integrity is
because
takes a hit.
Dude, Taco Bell. I think I would have in this bracket. I would have probably had Taco Bell losing to McDonald's, but they could have at least made the divisional series.
I have a lot of love for Taco Bell. I feel bad. But
I quit Taco Bell for like 10 years.
I don't. It's not like I always feel like crap after eating Taco Bell, but it's a roll of the dice. It's like 50-50.
Oh yeah. Totally.
So that's where I was going with it. I don't feel horrible after eating El Pollo Loco. But as a business, as a brand, Taco Bell stomps it.
Yeah, I can't believe you went there. But hey, can't
Maybe
win
I'm trying to be the change I want to see in the world.
Oh man, and that concludes our game portion. See how we had 2 longer game portions there. We normally do 3, but I feel like that was great. Moving on to the advice section of this podcast. We talk about some advice. We have a couple of things that we want to talk about. Now, in this case, I'm gonna split it up, right? We're gonna do half relationship, maybe one question about relationships, right? In social interactions, right? And then the other one is gonna be music. And now we'll go into the music bit in a little bit. It'll be more like a story, and then what do you take from that story? Okay?
Cool.
So we'll start with the relationship portion. Here we go. So I feel like there's a lot of people, we're in the Halloween spirit, right? There's a lot of people right now that are going through this probably. But what do you do when somebody ghosts you?
Oh yeah. Okay. So it's just after Halloween. We're talking ghosting.
Yes, exactly.
What do we do?
Exactly.
Yeah. What do we do if they're being like a chameleon? Like they're
exactly.
They're changing.
Exactly.
They're changing their colors.
Yep.
They're hot. They're cold.
And it's like boom, coming in hot. It's like whoa. Okay, cool. Hitting it off, and then all of a sudden, cold turkey.
Yeah. I mean, I think if you're a guy, you have to realize that our brains are completely wired differently than females. You know, so we're very, what's the term for it? Cause and effect. Like this happened. So then this happened.
Right.
And then this happened. And then why isn't it the same? Where's the consistency?
That's how guys' minds think.
Yes. Yeah. They're like, well, I did the same exact thing and I'm not getting the same response. So what happened? Like, does not compute.
Yes.
But I think women, they're more about their feelings. And it's more of a vibe thing, but they're also attention based. Attention is their currency. So sometimes women are trying to get validation and attention from guys, and they're not necessarily thinking of it in a logical way of like, oh, this guy did. They're not like, oh, this guy took me on a date and he did X, Y, and Z. So therefore, I should respond to all of his texts from now on.
Right.
And then they go on a date with another guy and he did Jack. He did the bare minimum. So now I should pay attention to that guy less. That's not how they're thinking of it.
No.
Guys look at that and they're like, what the hell? That doesn't make any sense. That's not fair, blah, blah, blah. And
Totally.
it's like, women, they're more emotional. So I think your question is, what do you do about ghosting?
Yep. When somebody ghosts you.
I think men need to
fresh off the ghost.
Men need to value their attention, the attention that they give.
Yep.
And they need to understand that they cannot be giving attention based off of quote unquote bad behavior. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Like ghosting is bad behavior, 100%.
In the sense of you need to be able to have integrity with your relationships and say, if you have plans and someone's being wishy-washy on the plans or they're not showing up, or you're like, hey, I'm going to pick you up at XYZ time and they're not ready, or hey, let's meet at this place at XYZ time and they're late, for example. That's bad integrity on the relationship.
Right.
So you shouldn't reward those behaviors with more attention.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, that's all like guys have. Like guys aren't gonna, we can't force anything. The ball is in the woman's shoes.
Right.
As far as them deciding if the relationship is going to continue, if it's going to advance. So the only thing that a man really controls is the attention that we give, the level of attention that we give.
Right. So you would say, to kind of piggyback off of your point, you would say,
if you're getting ghosted, then you got to give
withdraw.
less attention. Yeah.
Yep. Completely withdraw.
And just in general, when it comes to, romantic relationships, you should be giving the most attention to the people that deserve it.
And I feel like that's also like that ties into self-esteem and self-integrity, right? You know what I mean? And I think that there's something to be said about self-confidence and how that reflects on your self-confidence, right? And how that the perception of that is to the person in which you're attracting or not attracting, right? So it's like if you pull away and you're like, oh, okay, cool, yeah, I don't want this energy, no way. Like if this person's gonna be wishy-washy, this person's gonna be in between, I can't tell where they're at, I can't read them, well then I value myself and I value my time. So because I value myself and I value my time, I don't want to waste my time over there.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say. It's about maximizing your time.
Right.
And I think being a solid, stoic, consistent man and being confident is attractive to females as well. So I think if you're just consistent, it's like you show up to work, whether you're sick, whether you don't feel like it,
right.
You just show up day in and day out. You do what you say you're going to do. That's an attractive quality for everybody, but also for romantic relationships. And not even just romantic relationships. It's like you want everyone you work with and deal with in your life to have that mutual respect of, I said I'm going to do this, they believe you. You said you were going to do this, I believe you, and you want to have that level of trust. So just in general, you should be operating like that in your life.
Yeah, I think that's very fair. And I feel like sometimes that goes against like what you're naturally like, your emotions or whatever it is, in this case, like your logic is telling you to think, right? And it goes against logic. But in reality, that's always the answer to the situation.
Yeah, because it's not even just about playing games or like, well, this person on the internet.
Yeah, it's always the thing like, oh, I don't want to play games. I don't play games. It's like, is it really a game though? If you're just like, it's not a game. You're just playing like, you're just doing you.
It's not necessarily about playing games. It's more just the higher level you are as far as success or businesses that you're operating or whatever you're doing. If you're Tom Brady and you have practice, if you're Tom Brady and you have a game, if you're Tom Brady and you're operating a business, you can't just cancel a relationship because you're getting into a fight with your wife.
Absolutely not.
You just can't. You can't just be like, oh, I'm sorry, I can't come to the game. Like, you know what I'm saying? So
right.
That's the difference with successful people is they plan out what they're gonna do. And they're there. And if they have to switch stuff around, they're going to let the people know a day before or a week before or whatever it is. And you have to be able to operate on that level. And the relationships in your life, they're going to be able to pick up on that. They're going to be like, oh, that he's on it. He's hustling. He's on it. Right. And that makes him more valuable.
100%. And it's almost like interesting because like you would think they do like, I would like to think that, and I think it's human nature also to like value somebody's attention, right? And you want attention. Obviously, men and women, I think, value that in different ways. But I think that there's something to be said about somebody who is steadfast on their goal and somebody who's steadfast on where they're going and knows where they're going. There's a certain confidence and aura that comes with that is attractive. So it's actually crazy that like it flips it on its head because it's like you want attention, but you're actually attracted to a lack of attention, which is kind of crazy conceptually when you think about it, but
if you boil it down to economics,
right?
It's supply and demand. That man has less attention to give.
Right.
It's like if I was a girl and I was dating Elon Musk and I knew this guy works 80 hours a week,
right?
And then he texted and he was only able to give me 2 hours attention for the whole week, I would be like, oh my God, I'm so special.
Right.
He works 80 hours a week and he was willing to give me his time.
Right. So his time is more valuable. Therefore, that's also social proof, right? It's like, oh my God, wow, he's wanted by the world. But now that makes that time feel special, right?
Right. So that same girl could be getting double, triple, quadruple the amount of time from someone who doesn't have a job. And it doesn't, they might like it in the beginning, but they might get tired after a while and be like, oh, his attention isn't as valuable. So like, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. And then lose attraction. Wow. See? It's great. It's good stuff. It's good to know. It's good things for people out there that.
So hopefully people on Halloween, they didn't get too scared of ghosts. Sometimes you're out here chasing ghosts,
Baby, I know.
Go stream Chasing Ghosts, cheat codes, Timmy Trumpet. Me and Eric worked on this record
a
few months back with Brandon Burnett, Boy Blue,
and
Careless,
yeah,
Embody.
the whole gang chasing ghosts. All right, now this goes to our next segment. Okay, now we're gonna call this. We're gonna kind of put it in the advice category, but we're also going to put it in the it's in between. It's a good segue to the next section, which is the just current events. But it's also what can we learn from this and what can we take from it, right? So it's going to be called the story of a song, right? Where we're going to go into depth on the story of a song or something unique about a song. And we're going to say, what did we learn from that? And what can we take away from that as also fellow music creators, right? So I have two examples. One is of the song Stronger by Kanye West. Now, the story goes like this. Kanye sampled Daft Punk, and the song ended up coming out, and it was really successful. But what happened was, when the song came out, Kanye played the song in the club, and then he realized, oh, shoot, this song doesn't really knock in the club. And now, at the time, the most popular artist in the world, or one of the most popular artists in the world, was Justin Timberlake. And he had Sexy Back, he had My Love, Future Sex Love Sounds, that whole era. And who produced that? Timbaland. So what happened was Kanye went to a bunch of different producers. He ended up going to Swiss Beats, Pharrell. He went to all these different people, and they couldn't get it right. But then he finally went to Timbaland, and he figured it out in 5 minutes.
Yep.
And in those 5 minutes, he said that he was in the studio for an hour, and he figured it out in 5 minutes, and then he spent the rest of the 55 minutes on explaining why he could do it and nobody else could. So, what can we take away from that? What can we learn from that?
What is the explanation, though? I've seen that video, but I was like, okay, he just used his samples or what?
So what actually happened was it was the kick. So he swapped out the kick. Now, this is 2007, right? So you also need to think about the times. This is way before Splice. This is way before like all of that stuff. And there was no like really internet sort of sample library. So back then, what used to happen was producers would have like SD cards or floppy disks or
drum machines,
right? And on those things, there would be their sounds, and their sounds were actually like on hardware. They wasn't on software, so it was on the hardware. So literally, when you had access to a kick drum, you were like the only one. If you made that kick drum, you found that kick sample from an old song, and then you compressed it a bunch, and you ran it through a bunch of hardware, and you ran it through all this stuff, and then you created this new kick sound, this new knocking kick. Then you're the only one that has that kick. So that's why Kanye needed to go to Timbaland. So what do we learn from that? What do we take away from that?
Well, I think that if you create a sound as a producer or just branding in general, then people are going to seek out what you're doing. It's obviously easier now with sampling and you could just rip stuff off the internet.
Right.
But it's the same way with like, we talk about like a Jack Antonoff who was in Bleachers and he's in Fun, and now he's being, people are seeking him out for like a Taylor Swift sound or whatever it is because he had a specific sound. It's not necessarily like, oh, he's the best producer in the world or whatever it is, but he has a very unique sound.
Right.
That he has honed.
Right.
He's already put in the time to create this sound. So now once it becomes a popular sound and people are looking like wanting it for themselves, it's way easier for them just to go to the source.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Or I remember Miley Cyrus did a whole kind of mixtape vibe with the Flaming Lips a couple years back.
Oh, wow.
It was called Miley Cyrus and Her Dead Pets.
Oh, wow.
And it was very cool. It was like a very indie sounding project.
Wow.
It was very artsy. I really liked it. But you could tell it was produced by Flaming Lips. If you listen to the Flaming Lips album, yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. So same thing. It's like,
so if you're looking for a specific sound, you go to a specific person. So I think you brought up kind of a good point too. It's like when you have that sort of like stamped sound, it's like that truly was the only place that you could get that sound. Right. And I feel like that still exists today, even though there are like sounds that exist. You know what I mean? Like now it's easy to get the same kick drum as somebody else. Right?
It's way quicker to recreate a sound now. That's why the trends happened so quick, because I think in 2010, early 2000s, the trends would last like 5 years.
Yeah.
Or like a sound. It was like,
Yes.
this is the Katy Perry sound, and it would last like 2 or 3
I mean,
album
remember
cycles.
Mustard had his whole run,
And he didn't change anything. It's like, so you have all this behind the scenes work of, let me dial in this sound, and maybe it's that the 3% rule that we talk about, where you're not really recreating the wheel, but DJ Mustard just, he finds a unique like bass sound that's like dum 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 dum, like, and it's like, oh, this is like a cool bouncy bass sound, and then he just uses it in every record for the next 5 or 6 years until people are tired of it. Because for someone to recreate that sound, he already spent the 4 or 5 plus years developing that sound
and perfecting it.
So for somebody to recreate that, it's just not worth it for them.
Right. And I think, and I think also like, but also I think creating something that's difficult to replicate is another big thing, right? Like I think, obviously Timbaland had such a unique sound. So because he had such a unique sound, not only was he the only place that you could get it, but it was also like nobody else could create it either.
Yeah, I think that's, if the Pharrells, the Timbaland, there's also the musicality aspect of it.
Yeah, right.
Pharrell, you can tell it's like, it's almost like a church sound, like this weird gospel musicality with the chord progressions and putting different things that shouldn't go together that do put together. It's, so you can't recreate that. You might be able to steal his drum sounds or whatever, but
you can't recreate the feeling of a record or like the groove. Like I feel like Timbaland songs had such a specific groove to them too.
And also Timbaland did a lot of beatboxing where he would just record his vocals. Yeah. So it's like, even like I remember I always watched Ryan Tedder, One Republic, he did the remix for It's Too Late to Apologize. And if you listen to the remix, it's a very basic remix. He basically just uses his drums, but then he does the it's just like Timbaland doing like a weird just like a weird noise, but then it's like, okay, nobody has that sound because it came from Timbaland's mouth.
Yeah, right. And it's like a weird delivery, unique delivery, and all that stuff. Yeah.
So it's like you do a drums and a bass that other people can probably get, and then I'm gonna throw like my weird vocal noise in there, and now all of a sudden it sounds unique.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, Timbaland was really interesting too, because he ended up obviously singing on a lot of his records too, and rapping on a lot of his records. So interesting. But yeah, Timbaland, one of the goats. So, next story. This one's a little different. I'm just going to tell you the story, and then maybe we'll see how it goes. Maybe there's something you could take from this. Maybe there isn't. Okay. It's the story of Billie Jean. I don't know if you actually know the story of this song.
Not my lover.
Okay, ready? It's actually a really crazy story. So Billie Jean might be one of Michael Jackson's most beloved songs, but the story behind it is terrifying. According to legend, Jackson had been receiving letters from a woman who claimed that he was the father of her child. The letter writer was relentless, constantly proclaiming her love for Jackson while trying to convince him to start a life with her. Jackson was so disturbed by the letters that he often had nightmares about them. One day, Jackson received a package from the same woman that included a letter, a photo, and a gun. She wanted him to off herself. She wanted him to off himself, and said that she'd off herself and the baby so that they could be together in another life. The incident inspired Jackson to work through the horror he felt and write a song that addressed the woman directly.
My first reaction when I hear these stories, because I knew about that story, but if I heard that story now, I just wouldn't think it was real. Like I would just think it's manufactured for marketing of the song. You know what I'm saying? But it's obviously Michael Jackson is such a big name that it's very believable that this actually happened.
I think this is true, and I mean, I've heard something similar to this story, but I knew that it was about us crazy. It's like kind of like Stan vibes, obviously by Eminem, right? But and when you read the lyrics, it's kind of crazy. She told me her name was Billie Jean as she caused a scene. Then every head turned with eyes that dreamed of being the one who will dance on the floor in the round. People always told me, be careful of what you do and don't go around breaking young girls' hearts. Mother always told me, be careful of who you love and be careful of what you do because the lie becomes the truth. Billie Jean is not my lover. She's just a girl who claims that I am the one, but the kid is not my son. She says I am the one, but the kid is not my son.
I think what's interesting about that song too is it's such a catchy song.
Yeah. I mean, the bass line is one of the most iconic bass lines ever.
Specific lyric,
Boom, 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 boom,
but it's like a cultural moment where I'm sure that was a huge tabloid thing at the moment or at the time, because Michael Jackson had children, but there's even claims that he was a virgin until he was like 35, which I'm sure, I don't know if that's true or not, but
who knows?
So I'm sure just anything around Michael Jackson potentially having a kid or potentially having a relationship was probably huge news at the time.
Yeah, totally.
So when there's accusations, it's going to be in the news. And then what a smart thing to do as an artist, like let's just make a song about it, and then it becomes a hit.
Yeah. I mean, and also like the actual song itself is such a hit song. I mean, but I mean, I don't know. It's interesting to think about. I mean, I guess this also kind of thought provokes the next part of the question, which is like, when you are that level of famous, right, in dealing with things like this, obviously we have Billie Jean, we have Stan, you know, there's a lot of instances of this. It's how do you deal with that sort of inner turmoil of like, oh my God, these things, like this is like a heavy weight to bear, but then at the same time, you still have to like, you know, this kind of is what comes with the job. Similar to kind of like the last podcast we were talking about with Chappell Rowan and yelling at, you know, reporters and stuff. Obviously, this is way more serious than that, but yeah.
I always looked at this song as a warning for, you know, because obviously we do music and it's something that I think about all the time, but it could also just be well-known people. Maybe you're an athlete, maybe you're just a public person, but it goes back to whether you want to go back to like biblical times or whatever, like King David or Solomon, all these people, but engaging in the hookup culture realm, especially at higher levels of success, can be your downfall.
Yeah, it's very dangerous.
And it's like Michael Jackson's been talking about this. What was that in the 80s? Whenever that song came out.
Totally.
And it's all, you know, this is way before Me Too, way before any of that. And just, you don't have to put yourself in those situations. And I think a lot of guys forget that because most men aren't used to having easy, promiscuous sex thrown at them. So when they get a chance, they just become rabid animals,
right?
For example, and there's like, this person wants to hang out, this person wants to hang out, and it's like, and every night of the week, not realizing, that could ruin your career, or at least just
distract you,
detour you.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, and I mean, I think that that's something that's obviously super serious too. It's like what if this was maybe a person he knew, or I mean, maybe he obviously, I think in this story he doesn't know her, but I think that you just never know what people are capable of, especially at that level of fame. The things that they could say in the books that they could write off of just the smallest amounts of proof is just terrifying.
It makes me think about the famous Keanu Reeves photo where every photo he takes with a fan, he just puts his arms like this in the background, so you can see his hands and you know he's not even touching them at all. Which is because
that's kind of like alarming and crazy if you really think about it. Like that's like a crazy thought.
It's also baller though.
Yeah, it's pretty baller. It's like, I ain't touching none of y'all.
It's just like, wow.
Yeah.
But I think it's because, you know, if you are famous and you go to a lot of events or whatever, and someone asks you for a photo, you don't want to be a dick. So you say yes. So all of a sudden you have all these photos with people that you don't know at all. And then they use that photo of, see, I did have a relationship with him. See, I was good friends with him. See, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And you don't know how that's going to be used against you later on.
Right.
So if you're Keanu Reeves, you're just like, let me just make it glaringly obvious.
Yeah.
Like not even a question.
I don't know none of y'all.
Yeah, this ain't my friend.
I don't know none of y'all. That is crazy. Yeah, no, I think that's smart on Keanu for that. Wow. Well, let me Google that.
Yeah, and I will say, pulling it back to a songwriter perspective, because we talk about this sometimes, a lot of pop music can just become so generic because you're trying to aim to make it universal. But if you can be specific in the songwriting, at least for part of the song, it makes it more authentic and it makes it more relatable. Like it makes you remember it more, more memorable, but also like, wow, can you believe the song is about this crazy stalker? Like there's something to actually talk about, whether if it's just like a generic pop song, like tonight we are young. It's like that era, like the 2010 fun era, like met you in the summer. Like the lyrics were always so
vague,
broad and vague, because the idea was like, I want this to be a global hit that could be played for everyone around the world.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want them to like think too hard about the lyrics.
Yeah, true.
And now, because the internet and there's so many songs that get uploaded to Spotify or whatever it is, like it seems like things are becoming more niche and more musical and more like, oh, these specific storylines and specific lyric, it's more relatable and people want it more.
People want to buy into an entire story. I feel like people like they want to know like, oh wait, why did they say that? Whoa, that's such a weird lyric. Like, what's the story behind that? And then people want to dig now. I think you don't want it to be obvious. You want to do something that makes people think. It doesn't have to make sense. It doesn't need to be something that works in every scenario. Maybe it only works in one scenario, and that's why it works in every scenario.
Yeah, I think when the main apparatus was radio, then the idea is, how do we make something super catchy, but it's super broad and universal to where we can just shove this down people's throats on the radio and people will eventually accept this as an amazing song.
Right.
Whereas now the radio has less weight. Everything is streaming. The internet is more important, like TikTok and all these things. And you're seeing more specific songs like, what is $1 Million Baby about? I don't know.
Yeah, I have no freaking clue. I really want to make it $1 Million Baby. I mean, yeah, exactly. And I think I think it's unique titles, unique words.
Or even like, when I come to Chicago, I feel it. It feels specific. When you hear that song, you're like, wow, he goes home to Chicago and he feels a different version of himself. Like, whether it's a personal lyric or not, it feels personal.
Yeah, and even though it might be somebody that's never been to Chicago, they know the feeling of going to a town and being like, oh, wow, I feel like it's the end of the beginning. You know what I mean? Like, oh, wow, this is great. Like, even though it's a specific thing, they might not know what Chicago feels like. They might have never been there, but they know that feeling of going somewhere they've never been, or maybe in this case, home.
And I think a lot of pop songwriters, especially LA pop songwriters, they would say, well, no, we shouldn't put a specific city in the hook.
Right.
That's just, it's too specific. Now we're alienating the rest of the country and the rest of the world. It's not going to be a big song. And it's like, okay, well, you have like a 1 billion stream song with Chicago right in the hook. Like, it was like the main part. You know, and it's not like people from LA or people from Boston are like, screw this song, he's talking about Chicago.
Yeah, no, not at all. If anything, it makes it more relatable. It's like, oh my God, that's a city that he loves. And it's like, oh, I have a city that I love. You know, like people want to feel, they want to relate. I don't know. I feel like it makes more sense, obviously, when you're just more real and more raw, you know? And in this case, Michael Jackson was being real and raw. Hence why we got the masterful Billie Jean. That concludes Story of a Song.
Nice. That was a good story.
Yeah, it was a fun story. Now it's up to you now, bro. Flip it over to you.
Yeah.
I get to sit back now. I get to relax.
Well, here's the deal. I have 12 minutes of recording.
All right, let's rip through them.
Okay, cool. Let's see if we can do it in 12 minutes.
Let's rip through them. Rip through them. Oh, the Couch Commanders podcast, episode 5. Coming in hot. We have 12 minutes left to go to record. Let's see what we got. On to reactions and current events.
Yeah, we can just go bust through these quick. But yeah, Young Thug freed from prison after accepting guilty plea in YSL RICO case.
Yep.
So
Thug.
He was just sentenced. He did a guilty plea. May not have to serve any more time behind bars if he successfully completes 15 years of probation. That's a long probation.
Yeah, I
know. The sentence, which amounts to 40 years in total, it's a bit complicated. Yeah, wow. He was served for 5 of the years plus 15 on probation. So yeah, he got time served. There's also a backloaded 20-year prison sentence that could kick in after probation, but he'll only have to serve that time behind bars if he doesn't successfully complete his probation term.
15 years of probation.
That's insane.
Wow. I actually don't know the intricacies of the Young Thug case. So what exactly was he indicted for? Like what was his do we know exactly what he was indicted for?
He decided to enter a guilty plea in the RICO case, and Wow, it says it's become the longest trial in Georgia history.
Wow.
Wow.
Because I feel like this has been going on for a long time.
He made a plea in 2022, and it's just like the criminal street gang activity. So he's connected to the YSL gang, but yeah, they wanted him to get 45-year sentence.
Wow,
that's insane.
I mean, 15 years probation. I'm hoping, obviously, that he can stay out of trouble for 15 years. I think that's obviously always easier said than done, you know, especially him being such an influential figure in rap culture and the rap community, and obviously like his previous ties. So it might be difficult for him to do that. But I think also I read somewhere that something about he can't talk or he can't associate with a bunch of people from that gang, but he can talk to Gunna.
So what's the deal? They hate each other or they love each other?
No, Gunna's his brother.
I thought Gunna was a snitch.
But I thought Gunna was his brother.
Are they actually related?
I think it's his brother. Hold on. I need to Google this because I think it's his biological brother. Is Gunna Young Thug's brother? Yeah. His biological brother and longtime collaborator.
I had no idea. I thought they were just homies.
Yep.
Well, let's move on since we don't have that much time. I thought this was a really interesting story. I had never heard of this. I guess it's been being brought back because it's like an old story, but United Airlines passenger had a terrible experience. His solution was a stroke of genius. So essentially this musician, he was a United Airlines passenger and they broke his guitar.
Oh, wow.
And he was trying to get them to pay for the guitar. And they said, nah.
What?
So what did he decide to do? He decided to write a song called United Airlines Broke My Guitar. And apparently the song went viral. It had, I just checked on Spotify, it's like 700,000 streams or something like that.
That's a lot.
But apparently it
That's
made
a lot of streams.
I know, for like a very specific song about somebody breaking your guitar. And apparently it made their stock dip by 10%. And there was a whole PR thing. And then eventually they paid him at least $3,000 to buy a new guitar. And the original YouTube video had over 23 million views.
Wow.
Oh, I guess he made a whole series about it, like three songs. But yeah, I have the song.
Oh, you have the song.
And I can play it for you.
Oh, please play it.
I haven't heard this. You haven't heard this, so let's see if it's a banger.
Oh man, I hope it's good. Good start.
I flew United Airlines on my way to Nebraska.
Wow.
The plane departed Halifax, connecting in Chicago's O'Hare.
Of course, it was O'Hare.
Yeah. Chicago.
On the ground, a passenger said from the seat behind me, "My God, they're throwing guitars out there."
It's funny.
The band and I exchanged a look, best described as terror, at the action on the tarmac, and knowing whose projectiles these would be.
Well,
So before I
Can't wait for the hook.
I'm pumped.
I alerted 3 employees who showed complete indifference towards me. United, you broke my Taylor guitar.
It's kind of fire.
Some big help you are. You broke it, you should fix it. Liable just admit it. I should have flown with someone else or gone by car.
Or Gone by Car. That's so good.
'Cause United breaks guitar.
Wow. Bro.
Landed in Nebraska.
So
Wow.
yeah, you get the idea. I love the turnaround. I should have gone by car
Yeah.
because United breaks guitars.
That's actually an amazing tag. I mean, that's like the lyrics are unbelievable.
So I think this is funny because this song came out in 2009. I think. Do you think this is my question to you? Do you think if this song would have came out this year, it would have been even bigger? Because it got 24 million views on YouTube and 700,000 streams on Spotify.
This came out in 2009.
Yeah, according to Spotify.
Oh, bro. I mean,
He might have made $1 million from this.
yeah. When did they pay him? Recently?
I could pull up the article.
I wonder if they paid him recently or if it was like they paid him back then.
This article is a 2004 article, but I don't know if they were just like rehashing it or what.
So this happened like 20 years ago.
Yeah, this happened in 2009. That's why I didn't hear about about the story.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a $3,500 Taylor guitar. Imagine if your $3,500 guitar was broken and they were
That's
just
an
like, sorry,
expensive guitar.
and they were just throwing it on the tarmac.
Oh, yeah. No, that's an expensive guitar. 100% you should get reimbursed for that. Wow, that's crazy. Well, I mean, truth always comes out, right? Justice always prevails, I think, in most circumstances, especially in this one, which is great. I think it's genius. I think it was smart of him. I mean, to think about, like, that's like, this is pre-social media. This is like pre-Instagram, pre-everything. He literally just like probably, how did he even release the record?
Way ahead of the curve. Yeah, I don't know. Well, YouTube, I think.
Oh, he dropped it on YouTube. Wow. Like, that's the OG of OG virals. Good on this guy. Wow. Good on United for making it right, too, I guess, you know? But I think it's bad press, though. Because it's also like people want to rally behind, what's the guy's name?
The guy's name is Dave Carroll.
Yeah. People want to rally behind people like Dave.
Like, imagine this on TikTok. Like 10x as big.
Probably. Oh my God. Yeah. Especially in today's market. Like if this guy was actually like, I don't know, I never saw the videos, but it's like, if you did this guy, all he had to do was put his phone down and then play this song on the guitar and it would go super viral. Wow. That's pretty wild. Good for Dave though. Hopefully he's doing something with his newfound fame.
All right, we got 4 minutes. In the spirit of Halloween,
Halloween.
I got some good decorations for you.
Okay, hit me. Go.
Can you see it?
Yeah, my neighbor's Halloween decorations.
Do you see in the grate?
Oh, wow. It's got the little it thing. Oh, wow. That's crazy. That's fire, actually.
So they got like a little mannequin doll that's dressed up as the kid and the balloons. Could you imagine?
Oh my God, being a little kid and walking by and see that?
Yeah.
Be like, oh shoot, that's terrifying. Wow, that's really creative. I like to see people's creativity on certain things, especially like Halloween decorations and Christmas lights and all that stuff.
Speaking of creativity, we missed out because New York, they did a whole flash mob in the street of Thriller.
Oh, this is iconic.
Wow. I wonder, is this guy leading it? Like, was this his idea? He deserves the credit. Wow, there's a lot of people. How many people do you think that is?
Thousands. Darkness across the land.
Dun, dun, dun. Oh, I could probably play that. Oh.
Wow. That is nuts. That's actually really, really cool to see like that many people get together for such a cultural moment. Wow. I'm actually blown away by how many people showed up. But it's also New York, man. There was also like a Timothy Chalamet like fan like lookalike meetup and there was like thousands of people there and Timothy Chalamet showed up. New York just does random stuff like that all the time.
He would be one of those guys that has a million lookalikes.
Yeah, he has a lot of lookalikes and then he showed up at the lookalike, which is actually hilarious.
Okay, more Halloween stuff.
Halloween.
This is your neighborhood, and this is your fire department.
Oh, shoot. It's like a reggae. It's kind of fire. Oh, wow. Halloween reggae version. Getting in the holiday spirit. Good on the, I love towns that get involved in the...
People really go all out for Halloween.
Yeah, especially in America. Like I think it's a huge thing here in America, specifically.
Okay, so here we have the largest Chinese lantern.
Oh, is that a fire under there?
They're trying to launch a Chinese lantern.
Oh my God, that is crazy. Oh, that's kind of epic though. Oh shoot. Wow. It's breathtaking.
Wow, I haven't watched it all the way through, so
That's actually incredible. Man, human beings, it's kind of cool to see how like they get together and they're launching a Chinese lantern. They're doing a flash mob of Thriller in New York City. Oh my God. It's still going.
it's getting so high.
Wow.
All right, we have 40 seconds, so I guess we'll wrap this one up.
And that concludes Couch Commanders episode 5. Thank you guys for popping in. I am Eric from Sex on the Beach.
I am Matt. I'm in the group Cheat Codes. We have a song called Chasing Ghosts out now. Just in time for Halloween with Timmy Trumpet. Go check it out.
Check it out.
Subscribe to the channel. Share with your friends. And comment below any suggestions you want us to talk about. Music stuff. Yeah, we're also on TikTok. So
Shoot us a follow, guys. All right, guys. See you guys next time.
peace.
Peace.